Viewers, what a wonderful day today. It is bright, shining outside, and no smoke, no air pollution, and no agitation by farmers. Today, we sit together, discuss about a subject which is touching our lives very closely. And if we, as security professionals, are conscious about our surroundings, we know what is happening around us. And we have seen the force which is slowly emerged right when we started our professional career, and today that is the force we have to reckon with. And today's discussion is on a subject which we, if not conscious already, then my urge, my appeal, and my desire is that we remain very carefully conscious about this subject. And the subject is that what we today see, busting the myth and breaking the stereotypes. And that is about one very prominent, very close to our work scenario, and that stereotype was that we looked at woman colleague with different kind of consideration. We had preconceived notion that how to interact with the woman, how to deal with our peers, especially those who are from opposite sex, being considerate, being careful about how we behave in their presence, how we talk in their presence, how we dress, and how we, as professional, ought to interact with them was a very awkward thing in the beginning, but slowly and surely we see around us that myths are being broken. And today we discuss with you the subject which is close to me and which is very close to Rekha Gairola also. And Rekha is expert in this field. She has broken the stereotype. She has busted the myth, and she is one who just with the urge and professional desire joined security profession as a security management professional. She has worked in many reputed organizations, achieved world standard best benchmarks, and she has been recognized world over for what she has done. To start with, joining a security profession was first myth she has broken. And then climbing the corporate ladder was kind of breaking the ceiling. She has reached that position where it was so far considered very difficult to achieve, to become the leader of corporate security management affairs. She has been that. So, Rekha, welcome to the discussion. And my first question would be again, was it a hunch or was it a well considered decision for you to join security profession?
So first of all, Captain Tyagi, thank you so much for inviting me to such an interesting podcast. Javivan, what a topic that you have chosen for me. Is talking about whether it was a hunch or it was, pre-decided and well structured thought, I would say it was a hunch. Because we're talking about almost more than 2 decades ago when the security industry, or so to say security profiles in any of the industry, was not so very popular there in the market. And I joined when there were just handful of female security professionals in the corporate, and it was sheer, the you can say the idea of getting into corporate that was sounding very lucrative to me, and to be into aviation. I have to confess this that that was more of from the glamorous aspect of it. Oh wow, the aviation industry. And it just happened so that when I joined the aviation industry, and of course into security field, my first interaction with security was that of aviation security through BCAS, which is Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. So there's a requirement for all the aviation people, whether you are a pilot, crew, housekeeping, ground staff, you all have to undergo this training. That's a mandatory aspect of it. So from there, my journey began, and so that was the mandatory aspect, the government aspect of it, that you need to undergo the trainings, and then came the private training aspect, which was from rainfall aviation, and that was Israeli security. And when I attended that training, it was happening for the first time in India. So when I attended that training, that changed my perspective towards security. And I'm talking about 24 years ago, 2000, 2001, Jan. And I was like, this is something, which is really fascinating, very interesting. But at the same time, for me to be in aviation was uh, sort of, putting a cap to the kind of aspirations I've had at that point in time. So aviation, they have their own standards and their own set of requirements. Uh, and I think I was not made for I am not someone, you know me well, so I'm not someone who would really, sort of follow, certain things just for the sake of following it without questioning it, that why we're doing it. There has to be some rationale behind doing what you're doing. So that was a short stint, but I learned a lot when it comes to aviation. Of course, the glamorous aspect, I immediately realized that that's not me. People say that if you really want to understand who you are, just get into something which is not so very comfortable for you, because that's when you would realize, what's your true calling. So aviation industry per se, airlines was something I thought that I have had enough in terms of learning and understanding. And I would say from there my journey began. And of course, after that, I went into logistics, again into operations. It was initially operations, but I think I was destined to get into security, because again after 6 months, I realized from operations I didn't need to go into security, because there was no dearth of learning for me, and I was like, this is not something which is very conventional for any female, for any woman to really venture. And more than that, I think it was more of what do you like to do, what is your interest. And I definitely was interested in exploring the technical aspects of investigations, pilferages, and how to investigate things, and the technical aspects of this. And of course, until logistics, there's huge when it comes to security aspect. It's not just limited to garden security, or like we say, gun guards and gates. It was beyond that. And yes, you can say that that was real, stepping into security, and that was not a hunch. That was, a pure choice. I want to get into that. So yes.
Viewers, by now you know what was the reason for Rekha to join industrial security management as a profession. And let me share with you that only very few people keep actively challenging and disapproving widely held, often inaccurate beliefs about a specific group of people, which can be harmful due to their overgeneralized nature and potential to perpetuate prejudice. For fighting prejudice, one needs to have very strong character, because this involves actively promoting a more nuanced understanding of individuals by highlighting the diversity within a group and rejecting preconceived notions about them. Now, I'm sure Rekha has fought many such situations victoriously where she was kind of a victim of a preconceived notion, when she was not given the equal opportunity or kind of respect which would naturally come from peers. So, what is your experience and how you dealt with them?
Oh wow. Oh, you have see, you have asked me a very interesting question because if someone says that women in security in today's world, they say that they find it really difficult and really interesting that you see more women in security. I would say, let me take you back 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. Yes, there were perceived blockages, definitely. And if I say that there aren't any, that would be a myth. So we are talking about busting the myth. Let's face some facts here. Stereotyping is something which is ingrained, right? So from the beginning, security industry, and when we say security industry, we largely divide security into two aspects. One is from the service field, wherein you have partners, associates, service providers who provide security services to the clients. And the other one is from the organization point of view, companies where security is a profile, where security is a function or a department, operation security we call it, right? And then, within that operation security, you have different verticals. So I'm talking about mostly from the operation aspect because I haven't really served in the security services aspect, all the security agencies and the companies who provide the services. There, the fact is that this is very hugely male dominated. That's a fact. Another fact is also very hugely um, ex-military dominated. You would find very few people again who are not from military reaching to top most positions of security. And I'm yet to see any non-military person who is in the top of the security ladder, right? Um, if barring maybe one or two, that was the case, and that still is the case. So these are the facts. Now, and I was dealing with, this kind of perceived blockage. Normally, people say that, male dominating professions such as security, women are considered as not so, very aggressive or not so very assertive, or, they probably lack some mental tenacity to really work in these kind of fields or functions. So I have my own set of challenges. I was being questioned, I was being challenged. There was something really interesting I would like to share with you. Early in my career, when when I was being interviewed for a position there after aviation, of course, because that was in aviation they just need fresh people. Again, hugely military dominated, but I joined as very fresher, so I was not into military for sort of persona there. But the second position, second job that I joined in, being selected into operations, that went into security, and then after some time, there was a new manager, and no surprises from ex-military, of course, gentleman, right? And then my first interaction with him, and he's a great friend now. By the way, if George is watching it, he would really appreciate the kind of relationship we built upon, uh, that interaction of ours, I would say. Anyway, so let me take you back then. So my first interaction with him, and then he said, "Okay, fine, we need to meet, and I just really want to understand you better, and the way it's between a manager and a subordinate, very normal meeting." Uh, the only abnormal thing here was that within a week of him joining the organization, without even knowing what I've been doing all this while, and by the time I already spent almost 2 years in the organization, so after 2 years, he has come. Uh, so we having this conversation, and all of a sudden, he is like, "So, what do you like other than security?" And I was like, okay, I mean, in what sense you're asking me this? So he said, have you thought about being into customer service or in other department? I was like, no. Why are you asking me this question? And then I never asked this question myself. Why are you asking me this question? And he said, no, just have a thought about it. Maybe, you would want to just switch, want to go into customer service or into operations. And I told him then that, actually I was into operations when I joined, and this was a conscious decision of mine. I'm into security because I like doing what I'm doing. So he said, okay, fine, I'll give you 6 months' time. So I was given 6 months' time to really give it a second thought, which basically was a kind of warning. In corporate, we all understand when your manager comes and say that, "Oh, okay, I give you 3 months' time or 6 months' time, just look for another option for your own self," and which basically means if you do not switch, then we do not have a position for you. So this was the kind of subtle warning that he gave me within a week of him joining the organization, just because I was being seen as a woman not from military. And yeah, no surprises, I'm still here, which basically means he accepted the fact that whatever I've been doing for the organization and the organization was really useful. So yeah, within 2 weeks, he came back and saying this, that I was wrong, and I want you to be in my team. So yes, I've faced these kind of stereotypes in the past.
Rekha, when I started my career, the general scenario was that in security seat, either it is someone from armed forces background or from police background. Then later on, it changed to kind of requirement, only requirement for security executive to be from uniform background. So even NCC guy was fitting the bill. But then next stage came where qualified MBA student, the real HR professionals, started opting for security management. And thereafter, I witnessed many such cases where not only MBA graduate, but MBA lady graduates opting for security as a profession. So I can say that in my life, I have seen things changing. World around me has changed so much, and you have been in the forefront in making the society little different, little more conscious and aware of what ladies are doing and ladies can do. Uh, at this stage, I feel more happy and privileged once again to share a bit of your career background. Viewers, Rekha is with about 23 years of extensive experience in the field, spanning around diverse industries including aviation, logistics, and finance and manufacturing. She has also been a seasonal global leader. Pardon my changing my specs, giving me little trouble. So you have been, like I said, all over the globe, recognized for your professional achievement. You have expertise in security and risk assessment, risk and resilience. You know, product and plans you have been making, and your diverse professional career saw you through Jet Airways, DHL, HSBC Bank, Boeing International, and right now you focus on teaching, mentoring, and with this, I'm sure it must be giving you lot of pleasure and pride. Today, you are at the point where Maslow has suggested that the monetary benefit do not mean much. So now, my pointed question here is that from your position where you reached professionally, you look around and see peers and juniors struggling to get work balance, matching with the domestic commitment, work life balance. I happen to have someone who was IPS officer, lady at DG level, and once she was clearing her nails in the office. The moment she became conscious that I was looking at what she was doing, she very proudly said, घर में मैं माँ हूँ, बेटे का खाना भी बनाना होता है. So she was not shy, she was not apologetic, and she was very confident in sharing with everyone that in the office, when she is the boss lady, she is also mother, wife, sister, and different other roles she would play with pride and pleasure in family. So, what are your suggestion? You are also in similar position. So, what are your suggestion for junior professionals who just started the career?
So, first of all, I don't believe, and it's my personal view, I don't believe that there is any concept of work life balance. You manage. There's no concept. How are you going to balance it? Imagine you spending more than 8 to 9 hours there in your workplace, and then when we add the commuting time, it comes somewhere around invariably 12 to 13 hours. So out of 24 hours, your 12 to 13 hours is away from your place. And then you add, your sleeping hours and other stuff. There is no balancing act here. It's always about managing. How well are you in managing? My suggestion to colleagues and the junior players who are really aspiring to strike a sort of a balance between their work life and personal life is that just put your heart and soul in everything that you do, whether it is your quality time with your family, even if that is 2 to 3 hours. It has to be quality time, and it's not about the quantity of number of hours you spend with them. It's just that quality hours. And I think most of the time, with the evolution of IT technology and social media, we all are so much into our mobile phones. Even if we are there in family dinners or lunches, if there are six people sitting together, there are six mobile phones, and everybody is so much into their personal mobile phones that we miss the beauty of that togetherness. Um, for friends, earlier, it sounds like my zygote kind of thing, but that's the case. It is. Talking to a friend was such a sort of refreshing thing after spending 5 days in office, and you have Saturday and Sunday, and then you plan going out and meeting your friends and family. Nowadays, one maybe Insta chat or a WhatsApp chat, and you are done and dusted. And I think that's taking very heavily onto us. The kind of stress we experience, at our workplace, we are transferring that stress, we are taking that stress along with us when we come back home. So the best thing would be how we should be managing it, that whatever stress, and I'm not saying stress is good or bad, that would be a different debate altogether. I mean, a little bit of stress, I call it stress salt. So biryani mein kitna namak dalega ki biryani tasty lage. So the use stress is a good stress, they call it. So whatever stress or pressure we experience, and we all undergo certain kind of stress when we are working, whether it is a senior level position, whether you are entry level position, everybody has their share of stress. So if we are not in position to really fulfill the demands and needs and timelines of what we've been asked to do there at the work, we tend to take that back home, right? 8 to 9 hours, and then we are taking it back home, and then we are not talking to our family members and friends. Instead, we are busy, in our mobile and just shuffling through some reels, and that is it, which basically take tolls on both the sides, in personal front as well and in our professional front also, because we mentally are not, healthy. So the mantra I would say is manage. And when I say manage, I say when you are at home, spend those hours with your family members. Now, that does not mean that you just need to be with them all the time. You need to have that little space as well. Spend some time with your own self also. So your me time. And if that me time requires you to cry alone, so be it. I don't see anything wrong in crying out and just releasing your frustration. If you want to vent out somewhere, vent out your grievances and frustration, but do that, because if you do not do that, you are just building on it. And when you keep building on these stress and pressures, it ultimately takes toll on your health. And of course, when you say you're a professional, then it definitely is gonna reflect in the kind of work you do in your office, or the kind of relationships you have with your seniors or with peers. So the best thing is manage your both aspects of it. Don't mix it. You tend to mix it, but it's better to kind of phones are good, but just take it easy. Crying is okay, venting out is okay. Spend time with your friends and family, and then back to work next day, and just fresh with a fresh mind, of course.
Right at this moment, before I raise another point for discussion, I want to share with our viewers little more about Rekha's career progression. Her expertise encompasses corporate security assessment and mitigation, security audits, investigations, crisis management, and more. She is a certified fraud examiner, CFE, and international crime prevention specialist, CPS, with a profound proficiency in fraud investigation and staff interviewing. She is also a CRT, certified in the RAID technology for investigation interview of advanced interrogation. Additionally, she has an in-depth understanding and is certified in risk management, business continuity, supply chain risk management. In addition to her certification, she serves as a certified POSH trainer, speaker, leadership coach, and woman leader. She is a member of Task Force and Draft Committee for FICCI for Security for Women in Industries. She had actively contributed to initiatives promoting security and empowerment for women in workplace. So again, I feel very happy and feel proud to have interaction with you. Such achievement in one lifetime, not easy. Back to point of discussion where I had in my mind another very satisfying interaction with a lady, and I asked her a question. I don't know whether you or other ladies might agree or disagree with what she said. And my question to her was work-life balance, and she said, "My profession is incidental. My family is not. I work because of me and my family. It cannot be other way around." So when question comes about deciding which takes priority, obviously personal and family matters take priority. Do you agree or disagree?
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Um, See, I owe a lot to my family and friends uh, for whatever I could achieve till today. And if I am not happy in doing what I'm doing, I would have, you know, sort of quit everything long time ago. And when I spoke about my initial journey into cooperation with airlines, right? So I did not mention that I quit the job without having another job at hand because I realized that the kind of person I was becoming was not healthy for me to sort of to be seen there. I mean, my relationship with my family was really taking a toll at that point in time. So I decided to quit. That was a risky step, of course, but then, if you really want to do something, you really have to um, take some risk in life. That's very important. And if you do not have the kind of support that gives you that confidence that you do whatever you want to do, and we are there to support you or help you in whatever fashion. If it's not through any other way, definitely, in sort of supporting you, giving you your time, and ensuring you that, when you are back home, we are not actually cribbing for, oh, why didn't you spend this much of time with us? We wanted to go there. No, that never happened. And I think that's the key. You can only give your 100% to your work if your family is behind you. And when I say family, family could be anyone. It could be your blood relations. It could be, someone who fits into that definition of family, not necessarily your blood relations. So it's absolutely right. Bingo, I would say that I work because of my family, and my family is what I am part of my family. So my family is not four people plus me. My family is five of us. I mean, just a random figure I'm giving. So I am part of the family. So if I am not happy, what's the point of me, really slogging 10 hours, 12 hours there in some place, and then coming back and just happy with the paycheck? No, that could be what do you call it, a need, or you're sacrificing something. But if you're not happy in doing something, what you're doing, then there definitely is a need to do a quick check on whether you're on the right track or not. Yes.
In fact, Rekha, I wanted to make it clear for our viewers that neither my question nor your response is gender specific. In fact, what you said and what I asked is equally applicable to male counterparts also. And somehow, for my own reasons, I never appreciated my senior, my peer, or junior who work late, who are ever willing to come on holidays and weekends. And I, whenever within my command and within my hours, I conveyed the message that you are not truly professional. In fact, you are not a true human being also. When you do not give priority to your family and spend most of your time in the office, because in office you are replaceable. In family, you are irreplaceable. At this time, there is one observation and one question. यक्ष प्रश्न महाभारत में भी यक्ष प्रश्न आते हैं सबसे मुश्किल सवाल आते हैं सबसे आखिर में आते हैं ठीक है। तो
जी।
ऐसे ही एक ये है। और पहले एक ऑब्जर्वेशन ये आता है प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर राजीव माथुर की तरफ से। और वो ये कहते हैं कि about you, an exemplary security leader who has risen from the group up. Rekha's experience is an encyclopedia for the young professionals to learn from.
Fine.
So those are the very generous comments for you, Rekha, and I am sure that this comes with the respect and the admiration he holds for you. The question here is, Rekha, what is that one thing that you would like to do differently today that you did 20 years ago as a fresher in the profession?
Yes, Rajiv, first of all, thank you for the lovely comment. And your question, uh, I think what I would like to do different is so my initial years were that of a young person trying to satisfy in terms of the job role, the understanding, say yes to everything. You know, I think I would have started. I would have loved to say no to certain things at that point in time. I thought that saying yes to your seniors is a good sign. Um, I don't think it's just that how well you are in saying no. That's what matters because the only thing is with the kind of evolution of security industry and the kind of leaders now we have such platforms where we talk about what's good for individuals, what's right, and how you can get peer support and all that stuff today. Back then, when I had no experience of corporate and no such platforms, and I owed a lot to in the kind of exposure I got through different platforms and kind of peer support that I received today. Back then, it wasn't like that. So I thought that saying yes is a good thing. Just keep saying yes. If your manager said that you just finished these 10 tasks today, I thought saying yes is good. So yeah, I think I would have said no to lot many things.
So, Rekha, these 35 minutes, I felt very impressed by what you have achieved and what you have done. And I'm equally impressed by what you are doing presently. And in the meantime, there is comment coming from Raji Mathur and kind of rapid fire. Learn to say no. One more chapter to be added in the encyclopedia. And
Yes,
yes, uh, that is something. Many people do not know how and when to say no, and that brings a lot of misery to them. You are very true. And at this point, Lekha,
जी,
like I was mentioning, you teach, and that too in the university.
yes, I
I
do.
don't know when you will earn the title of professor with Rajiv Mathur to share with, because he is already a professor and you are going to be professor soon. For me, technically, you are already a professor. Next time, whenever your session is near around, let me know and I will try to join your class and learn from you. And Aditya Purohit, very quick question, and at the almost second of the discussion. And his question is, how is AI transforming the security landscape and what changes do you see in next 5 years? Though consciously we have not discussed industrial security management per se, but I am sure that Aditya Purohit could not resist the temptation to ask this question from someone like you, who is such a well-known figure, and even in this field, AI, you have a lot of things to say.
I definitely would like to answer the question here. So, Aditya, thank you so much for your question. And AI is taking over everything, not just security landscape. And if you talk about how it is going to transform in a big way, in a very, very big way, there are few companies here in India who are already running some pilots in terms of how AI can change the shape and security landscape. I think it's too early for me to really say that what exactly, but uh, there are a lot of things, whether how we, from physical security aspects, so how we really ensure the, let's say, authorized entry. And we're talking about data these days, right? So data is everything. So how are we going to secure the data? And how are we going to use AI and those algorithms, machine learning, into ensuring that we are securing that data in a way that it is being accessed by only authorized person. Not about that, facial recognition, right? That's another thing. So there are a lot of things which are going on at this point in time in terms of pilot project. It's just a matter of time. There are some fixes that we really need to do, ensuring that if we are introducing AI, are we really looking at the consequences of what if? There are a lot of what ifs. When we talk about security, we take care of the what if aspects as well, which fall under risk. So, what if that fails? Do we have a backup for that? And that's why in security, we say even if we have AI in security, your human intelligence is not going to go away anywhere. So, in a huge way, and that will pave way for more talent coming and joining security here in India. That's all I can say at this point in time. I hope that I answer your question.
And further to what Rekha has said, Aditya, if you are interested, go to our channel and search for our videos. In the past, we had few discussion, especially based on AI's application in industrial security management. Of course, it is such a subject where change is taking place almost every day, and today's knowledge and application uh, of AI has limited shelf life because next week there is new change, and no profession is technology hungry as industrial security management is. Whatever technology one can think of are being utilized or have potential to be utilized by industry security professionals. So that is answer to your question, Aditya. Do join if you have not already subscribed to our channel and subscribe to it. Rekha, this is lovely discussion we had precisely for about 30 or 40 minutes. And I feel very happy that few misconception, few wrong approaches, few bias or stereotypes which you flagged in the discussion are either already broken or ready to be broken. You have started a crusade. Many other ladies worthy of their names are in their own way combating this situation. And soon we will have a society which is based on equality, equity, mutual respect, and recognition towards each other. And soon enough, of course, God has made differently, but in society and in profession, we have equality in professional approach. Thank you very much for sparing your time. And my request to all our viewers that if you have not already subscribed to our channel, kindly do so. You'll get advance notification. If you have any comments to make in the comment box. Whenever you see this video, if you are not seeing live, later on you can make a comment and give your input for subjects you would like us to discuss. This podcast and many more in future are all initiative of International Council for Industrial Security, Safety and Management. And we are dedicated towards professionalizing the profession. We believe in peer support, hand holding, and pulling each other up and up so that we achieve standards set by global best. And as security and safety professional, this is what we have been doing in ICISS. Join our initiative, appreciate it, spread the good word around. I wish you all the very best and a safe and happy time ahead. Thank you very much for joining and remain tuned in for our next discussion.